And welcome to Radio Simply. This is part 2 of our interview with Ron Osborn. Definitely got a lot of good stuff in the first go-round, and we're going to get right into it here on the second go-round with everybody's questions. I am actually going to pick a person at random, not so randomly, because I just want to hear them say something on a webcast or podcast for once. Phil, ask a question.
Phil. I was actually typing a little request that I get in there before Pia does.
Yes, you get in there and you do it well. Get in there.
What about you? Yes, thank you.
Noonan.
Ron, I heard, quiet. I heard some time ago, or read some time ago, that when dealing with television, it's like a club for writers. And if you were writing, say, the Happy Joe show, and I wanted to write for it, I couldn't do it because you and your friends who were the writers could not risk losing their job for a new guy coming in with the script. Is that, how true is that?
Well, there are a couple of answers. I mean, any outsider can write a script for any show. I mean, that's how we did it. We wrote a script for MASH. MASH never read it, but it didn't matter. In fact, oftentimes, you know, the best way in is to write a spec script for a show you have the most affinity with. If it's fast-paced drama, you do 24. If it's conceptual comedy, you do 30 Rock, whatever. Whatever shows you off to best effect. 90% of the time, 99% of the time, that show won't read it.
Right.
And there's a few reasons for that, but that's understood. You basically use it as a sample for these other kinds of shows. Back on Moonlighting, it was so painful. People would send us these Moonlighting scripts that were just about surfacey banter and whatnot. And since there was nothing else on the air that was quite what we were doing, we asked for plays, we asked for screenplays, for samples to give outside writers assignments. Now, the other part of your question is if I've done a show. Well, I have. I was about to say, if I've worked with writers that I trust and I start up a new show, I'll go back to those writers. I won't look for new writers. I've done that. And most producers do that. They continue to work with the people they're comfortable with and they trust. Plus there becomes a shorthand after a while. Notes become fewer and that sort of thing. So it's just the path of least resistance. In the end, it helps and it hurts. When any given year, there's about 8,000 members in the Writers Guild West. About, 45-50% of them don't work in any given year. And most who do get one or two things, and then there's about 5% that's writing most of the stuff you see on TV. Does that answer the question?
It kind of does, but also I remember reading somewhere where if I wanted to, let's say I wanted to write for MASH. I know, it's done and over with right now. What I would do is I would write, say, a Moonlighting script and send it to the people at MASH because those in Moonlighting would say, well, they'll go through it with a fine-tooth comb saying this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. But the people at MASH, the writers at MASH would say, well, this is a good idea, this is good writing for Moonlighting. Let's see if this person can do good writing for MASH. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah, that's what yes, that was a very succinct way of what I rambled on about earlier. That's true. That's exactly the point. in the mid-'90s, we did an animated show called Duckman. That's probably my favorite thing we've ever done. And at the time, people were sending us Simpsons scripts, but the style of the Simpsons was so different than what we were looking for. And I had a hard time judging, if someone could write for this show. We got an awful lot of Seinfeld scripts, which was ironic because we had not cast Jason Alexander yet as the main voice. And I didn't care for Seinfeld, so I couldn't judge that. I couldn't read that script and go, oh, this is a good Seinfeld. But yes, it's true. I mean, you look for to use your example, what was the through line between Moonlighting and MASH is the banter, the dialogue, the wit, those shows had that. That's why it attracted us more than the setup payoff joke writing of sitcom, which frankly scares the hell out of me. It's so much easier to write dialogue that has a joke in it, and versus you're a writer. What do you write? Ransom notes. Anything like that. It scares the hell out of me. I'm done.
Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I was wondering, since you are a writer, and I would assume that you write a lot, how much of what you write actually becomes something on screen, whether big screen, little screen, or whatever? And how much do you write? Do you write every day?
I've never thought of it. Yes. I've never thought of a percentage. I guess, boy, that's a good question. I can't put a number on it. I will say this. On a series, like, when you're on a Moonlighting or a Duckman or I'll get to West Wing later, but most of what you write ends up on the screen.
Most of what you do, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how much do you write then every day? I'm just curious because I think some people might be like me. I try to write like 5 to 10 pages every day, and I'm just curious because I had this like idea in my head that you write a bunch of stuff and then some things get options, some things might get on screen, some things, but I thought I honestly would have thought that the actual stuff that ends up viewable to a vast audience is quite
low.
Small. Yeah.
It
so,
is. But and here's the other side of that. My partner and I have written many pilots over the years. We just wrote one for ABC Family. Mm-hmm. The pilots. It's harder than ever now to get an original pilot on. I'm guessing over the years I could sit down and figure it out at some point, but it's safe to say we've been paid to write 20 to 25 pilots. Now out of that, I'm guessing CBS, Duckman was pre-sold, but let's include that. About 3 got made. So, that's not a great percentage.
Yeah. And how many, get optioned, just not getting made, The
script, that I was dealing with today has been optioned previous to this 3 times. Mm-hmm. So you got paid for every option, but that's always against a sale price that has yet to happen. Go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking, I'm just trying to do math here, and I'm thinking, so here you are, and you have all these credits and stuff, and that's your percentage, and here, I am, and a lot of other people, and it's like, if that is your percentage, then I'm shit out of luck.
Well, yes, but it looks that way. But as I tell, and I teach at my alma mater, it's,